Libra is not weak. Libra is simply not loud. Libra does not win through pressure. Libra wins through influence. Have you ever met someone who could calm an entire meeting room with just a few sentences? No raised voice, no ego, yet the entire direction of the conversation subtly bends toward them. Have you ever seen someone who never argues for the spotlight, but in the end becomes the quiet center everyone looks to before making the final decision? That is Libra power, and it is far more strategic than people realize. Libra is often labeled as pleasant, diplomatic, easygoing. Because they value peace, people assume they lack force. But in this video, power does not mean controlling others through fear. Power means creating alignment. It means shaping outcomes so that people willingly agree. It means defining standards so clearly that others adjust themselves without being pushed. The symbol of Libra is the scale, balance, fairness, measured judgment. The one who defines what is fair often defines the outcome. Today, we will break down the hidden layers of Libra's strength, why it is underestimated, and how to activate it without being overlooked. Libra is powerful because they win the structure, not the argument. Most people focus on defeating a person. Libra focuses on stabilizing the entire system. That difference is why Libra is more powerful than people realize. When tension rises in a room, Libra is not thinking about ego. They are thinking about outcome. What solution keeps relationships intact? What decision protects long-term trust? What path avoids unnecessary damage? While others react emotionally, Libra studies patterns. They observe who is driven by pride, who is driven by fear, who needs validation, and who needs clarity. That observation becomes strategy. Libra power rests on three foundations. First is clarity. Libra wants criteria. What are we measuring? What is the goal? What standard are we using? When Libra asks questions, they are not hesitating. They are building the framework. Once the framework is set, decisions become logical rather than personal. Second is harmony. Harmony does not mean avoidance. It means protecting relational currency. Libra understands that a burned bridge costs more than a temporary victory. They calculate social impact the way others calculate numbers. Third is influence. Libra listens carefully and frames solutions in language that resonates with each person involved. When people feel understood, they soften. When they soften, they cooperate. That is quiet control. The reason people underestimate this is simple. It creates little drama. It feels smooth. It feels natural. But smooth direction is still direction. Now let us break down the 6 hidden layers of Libra power that most people completely miss. One of the most underestimated aspects of Libra is their ability to detach emotion from decision-making. People mistake this for indecision. It is not hesitation, it is analysis. Libra does not rush to take sides because they are busy studying the structure of the conflict itself. This is why Libra is more powerful than people realize. When two friends argue, many people instinctively choose a side based on loyalty. Libra steps back and asks a different question. What is the actual goal here? Is the goal to win, or is the goal to preserve the friendship? That shift in perspective changes everything. Libra listens to both narratives, not because they are neutral, but because they are gathering data. They are identifying where emotion distorts facts, where pride inflates blame, and where compromise is possible. In group projects, when tension rises and roles blur, Libra often becomes the quiet anchor. Instead of fueling frustration, they redirect attention toward criteria. What was the original objective? What is the deadline? Who is responsible for what? That redirection pulls the conversation from personal accusation back to structural clarity, and the person who defines the criteria controls the direction. Objectivity is not coldness. It is controlled distance. Libra can separate how something feels from what actually works. That distance allows them to make decisions that others cannot make in the heat of the moment. The one who holds the standard holds the power, And Libra understands that setting the standard is more influential than winning the argument. Next, we will look at how Libra makes firm decisions without creating enemies. Libra does not avoid decisions. Libra avoids unnecessary social damage. That is a crucial difference. Many people can decide quickly, but they leave behind tension, resentment, or silent rivalry. Libra calculates something deeper. What will this choice cost in trust? What will it fracture? What will it preserve? This is why Libra is more powerful than people realize. When Libra finally speaks, it is rarely impulsive. It sounds measured, balanced, considered. You will often hear something like, "I understand both perspectives, but this option carries less risk and keeps things fair, given our current situation." That sentence does more than choose a direction. It protects dignity. It validates both sides. It reduces resistance before it even forms. This is a rare kind of authority. Many leaders decide and create a battlefield. Libra decides and leaves the room intact. The decision stands, yet relationships survive. That is social intelligence operating at a high level. Libra understands that long-term influence depends on emotional safety. If people feel attacked, they defend. If they feel respected, they cooperate. This does not mean Libra lacks firmness. Once they conclude, they move calmly, without drama, without triumph. And because there is no spectacle, people often miss the fact that the outcome shifted exactly where Libra guided it. Real power is not forcing agreement. Real power is reaching a decision without being hated for it. Libra masters that art. Now let us examine the social magnetism that allows Libra to pull people into alignment without pressure. Libra is powerful because they understand people, not on a superficial level, but on a motivational level. They sense who wants recognition, who needs reassurance, who fears exclusion, and who seeks status. While others focus on what is being said, Libra reads what is driving it. This is why Libra is more powerful than people realize. Many people socialize to be liked. Libra socializes to create structure. They connect the right people. They soften tension before it escalates. They send the message that clears misunderstanding before it becomes conflict. They are often the quiet bridge between two personalities who would otherwise clash. And bridges are powerful because everything passes through them. Libra has a way of making others feel seen. They acknowledge contributions. They validate effort. They adjust tone so that even disagreement feels respectful. When someone feels respected, they become more flexible. When they feel valued, they become cooperative. That cooperation builds soft alliances. These alliances are not dramatic. They are subtle. But over time, Libra becomes the center of a web of goodwill. And goodwill is a currency. When decisions must be made, people trust the one who has consistently treated them fairly. Influence accumulates quietly. The difference is clear. Some people build networks for attention. Libra builds networks for stability. They know that smooth systems outperform chaotic ones. They know that harmony increases efficiency. And they know that influence rooted in respect lasts longer than influence rooted in fear. Not everyone can make others willingly align. Libra can. But here is what most people misunderstand about Libra's open mind. Libra is often misunderstood as indecisive because they listen. They ask questions. They consider multiple angles. From the outside, this can look like uncertainty. In reality, it is disciplined evaluation. Libra is more powerful than people realize because they refuse to commit before they have weighed the consequences. Listening does not mean weakness. It means data collection. Libra opens the floor so that every perspective surfaces. They test logic. They observe reactions. They identify inconsistencies. While others rush to defend a position, Libra expands the lens, and expansion creates stronger conclusions. Once Libra decides, something shifts. They do not argue loudly. They do not escalate. They simply adjust their access. They withdraw priority. They withdraw emotional investment. They withdraw the softness that once made the space comfortable. The tone remains polite, but the boundary becomes clear. This is where people are surprised. They expected flexibility. Instead, they encounter firmness wrapped in calm. Libra does not explode. Libra closes the door quietly. And because there is no dramatic confrontation, the message lands even harder. Their stillness can be a warning. Their silence can be a verdict. And when a Libra has reached a conclusion based on fairness and principle, persuasion becomes nearly impossible. The mistake people make is assuming that openness equals fragility. In truth, openness strengthens Libra's resolve. When they have heard every angle, their final stance carries weight. Calm does not mean compliant. Now let us look at how Libra's love of beauty and order quietly becomes another form of control. Libra has a natural instinct for order, for balance, for symmetry, for presentation. People often reduce this to taste, to style, to liking beautiful things, but there is something far deeper happening beneath that surface. Libra is more powerful than people realize because they understand that perception shapes reality. The way something is presented influences how it is received. The tone of a message affects whether it is accepted. The structure of a meeting determines whether it becomes productive or chaotic. Libra pays attention to these invisible levers. In a group setting, Libra often refines language. They adjust how ideas are phrased so they land more smoothly. They reorganize discussions so the logic flows. They standardize processes so confusion decreases. At first glance, this looks like simple organization. In truth, it is system design. Whoever controls the system controls the experience. When Libra suggests a clearer format, a cleaner framework, a more balanced approach, they are not just making things look better. They are shaping how decisions unfold. Order reduces friction. Reduced friction increases agreement. Agreement increases momentum. A well-designed structure quietly directs behavior. And Libra understands that subtle direction is more sustainable than force. People may not notice who refined the environment. They may not realize who improved the rhythm of interaction, but they feel the difference. They feel the smoothness. They feel the clarity. And they naturally gravitate toward the one who created it. Beauty is not vanity for Libra. It is alignment. It is coherence. It is strategic positioning disguised as grace. But the highest level of Libra power goes even further. It does not just refine the system. It defines the rules of the game itself. The highest level of power is not winning within the rules. It is defining the rules. Libra is more powerful than people realize because they instinctively move toward this level. Fairness for Libra is not a vague ideal. It is a framework. It becomes criteria. It becomes principle. It becomes the standard by which decisions are judged. And once a standard is agreed upon, everyone must operate within it. Notice how Libra often says, "Let us agree on the criteria first," or "What does fair look like in this situation?" That sentence shifts the entire conversation. Suddenly, the debate is no longer personal. It becomes structural. The focus moves from who is right to what is balanced. And the one who establishes balance establishes authority. When Libra frames a choice as the most equitable option, given the circumstances, resistance decreases. People feel safer inside a fair system. Even if they do not fully win, they accept the logic. Libra does not need to overpower. They only need to articulate the standard clearly. This is why Libra often becomes the natural mediator, the referee, the quiet judge. They do not shout. They present a framework. And frameworks are difficult to argue against because they feel rational. The subtle brilliance is this: once the group agrees to a principle of fairness, every future decision must pass through that lens. Libra has quietly installed the operating system. Winning by controlling the criteria is far more powerful than winning by force. And yet, despite all this, Libra is frequently misunderstood. Despite all of this quiet authority, Libra is still one of the most underestimated signs. That is the paradox. Libra is more powerful than people realize, precisely because their power does not look aggressive. First misunderstanding: Libra is polite, so people assume Libra is weak. Courtesy is mistaken for compliance. A calm tone is mistaken for lack of conviction. But politeness is strategy. It lowers resistance. It keeps doors open. It protects influence. Weakness does not sustain long-term alignment. Libra does. Second misunderstanding, Libra listens, so people assume Libra has no opinion. In truth, Libra has many opinions. They simply refine them before speaking. Silence is not emptiness, it is evaluation. When Libra finally speaks, it is rarely impulsive. It is structured. Third misunderstanding, Libra wants harmony, so people assume Libra has no boundaries. But harmony is not self-sacrifice. Harmony is balance. When balance is repeatedly disrupted, Libra recalibrates, and recalibration can look like distance. Fourth misunderstanding, Libra avoids drama, so people assume Libra will tolerate everything. This is where many people make a serious mistake. Libra endures only while fairness remains possible. When fairness is consistently violated, something shifts internally. At first, the shift is subtle. Libra becomes quieter, less available, less invested. The warmth decreases, the access narrows. There is no explosion, no theatrical exit, just a precise cut. And the shock comes from how calm it feels. People are surprised because they expected endless accommodation. They forgot that the scale also measures limits. Libra can hold tension for a long time, but once the internal balance tips too far, they close the account cleanly, without revenge, without noise. And that quiet withdrawal often carries more impact than any argument ever could. So how does Libra use this power intentionally without being drained by it? Libra power becomes unstoppable when it is used consciously instead of automatically. Libra is more powerful than people realize, but only when clarity replaces over-accommodation. Influence without boundaries leads to exhaustion. Influence with structure creates authority. There are 3 sentences that immediately shift the balance of power. First, the rule-setting sentence. I think we should agree on the criteria before we decide. This moves the conversation away from emotion and into structure. It places Libra in the role of framework builder, and the one who builds the framework directs the outcome. Second, the logic-based closure. I understand both sides, but this option carries less risk and feels more balanced for the current situation. This sentence acknowledges perspectives while guiding the group toward a specific choice. It reduces defensiveness, it preserves dignity, and it finalizes direction. Third, the soft but firm boundary. I respect everyone involved, but I need clear boundaries for this to stay fair. That sentence protects Libra from being overloaded. It reinforces that harmony requires shared responsibility. Now, 2 essential principles. Harmony does not mean carrying other people's weight. Balance collapses when one side holds everything. And if Libra is always the stabilizer, it is reasonable to ask others to participate in maintaining equilibrium. Finally, the influence stack. Clarity first. Define the goal and the standard. Charm second. Maintain respect and emotional safety. Conviction third. Close decisively without dragging the process endlessly. When these 3 align, Libra becomes both approachable and authoritative. This is not manipulation, it is conscious balance. And when Libra fully steps into this version of their power, the outcome changes. Now let us close with the core truth. Libra is powerful because they create order, generate alignment, and define the standards others operate within. They do not need to dominate the room. They need clarity. They need balance. They need boundaries. Libra does not have to be loud to be influential. They only need to be precise. The moment Libra stops over-explaining and starts setting criteria, everything shifts. The moment Libra protects their energy instead of overextending it, respect increases. Libra power is quiet, but it is structural. It moves systems. It shapes decisions. It installs fairness as a rule, not a request. And once that rule is in place, outcomes follow. If this resonated, comment Libra power below and let me know if you want part 2. We can explore Libra in love, in career, in money, or even how Libra delivers silent but decisive consequences when boundaries are crossed. Like and subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this, because Libra is not weak. Libra is strategic. And that is exactly why Libra is more powerful than people realize.